Welcome. Today we embark on a journey into one of the most consequential rivalries of the 21st century. We're exploring the defining military rivalry of our era. The United States versus China, two superpowers whose competition is reshaping the world. These two giants are shaping the future of global security, not just through politics or economics, but through the projection of military might and influence. The US has long been the world's top military power, projecting force globally and maintaining a vast network of alliances. But China's rapid military modernization is challenging that dominance, especially in the Indo-Pacific, where tensions are rising. The PLA has transformed from a massive, outdated force into a cutting-edge military, shifting the regional balance and signaling its global ambitions. This isn't just about numbers, it's about strategy, technology, and the ambition to lead in the next era of warfare. The US seeks to maintain global leadership, protect its allies, and uphold the international order it helped create. China, meanwhile, aims to dominate its region, secure its interests, and pursue reunification with Taiwan, an issue at the heart of this rivalry. These competing goals create a tense, complex environment where every move is watched and every decision matters. Every new ship, jet, and missile adds to this high-stakes rivalry, fueling an arms race with global consequences. In this analysis, we'll break down their budgets, personnel, air and naval power, nuclear arsenals, and advanced technologies, revealing the true scale of their competition. We'll see where each nation stands in 2025, their strengths, weaknesses, and what these mean for the balance of power worldwide. This isn't about predicting war, but about understanding the forces and decisions shaping our collective future. So let's dive into the details of this new, great power rivalry and discover what's truly at stake. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the outcome will shape the world for generations to come. Money fuels military power, shaping the strategies and capabilities of nations on the world stage. And when it comes to military budgets, the US stands in a league of its own, unmatched by any other country. In 2025, the US defense budget is projected at a staggering $900 billion, more than the next 9 countries combined, a figure that dwarfs even its closest competitors. This massive spending fuels global operations, cutting-edge research, and the development of next-generation weapons, keeping the US military at the forefront of innovation. China's official budget is $232 billion, but when adjusted for lower costs and hidden expenditures, real spending may be closer to $541 billion, making it the world's second largest. The US still outspends China in nearly every category, maintaining a technological edge, a global presence, and the ability to project power anywhere on Earth. But China's spending is focused and efficient, aimed at rapidly modernizing the PLA and developing capabilities specifically designed to counter US influence in the Pacific region. Lower costs and state-driven production mean China can build more ships, missiles, and aircraft for less, maximizing the impact of every yuan spent. This strategy has allowed China to rapidly close the technology gap, expand its military footprint, and build a force tailored to challenge US power near its shores. The budget story is one of a global superpower facing off against a rising regional heavyweight, each shaping the future of military balance. Every dollar and every yuan spent is a strategic choice, influencing the future balance of power and the security of nations. In the end, the financial race between these two giants is as critical and as fierce as any arms race in history. Military power starts with people. China fields the world's largest standing force, over 2 million active-duty soldiers, plus 510,000 reserves and 660,000 paramilitary personnel. This gives China a huge manpower advantage, especially close to home. The US military is smaller, about 1.35 million active-duty and 811,000 reserves, but highly trained and experienced. Decades of combat have forged a battle-tested American force. China's PLA, while modernizing, hasn't fought a major war since 1979. The US focuses on quality, investing in training and leadership. China's strength is in numbers and rapid mobilization. The US advantage is experience and professionalism. In any conflict, both quantity and quality will matter. the human factor remains a decisive edge. Air dominance is crucial, and here, the U.S. leads. The U.S. operates over 13,000 military aircraft, including 2,700 fighters and hundreds of stealth F-22S and F-35S. China's Air Force is modernizing fast, with 3,300 aircraft and over 200 J-20 stealth fighters, but still relies on older jets. The U.S. boasts a powerful bomber fleet, including the new B-21 Raider, and unmatched support aircraft for global reach. China's bombers are modernized but lack true intercontinental capability. The U.S. can project air power anywhere. China's reach is still mostly regional. In the skies, America's edge in technology, numbers, and experience is clear. China is catching up, but the gap remains significant. Air power remains a pillar of U.S. military dominance. On the seas, the rivalry between the United States and China intensifies, shaping the future of maritime power. China now boasts the world's largest navy by ship count, over 370 warships focused on asserting regional dominance and expanding its influence in nearby waters. The U.S. Navy, with 490 vessels, leads in tonnage and overall power, anchored by 11 nuclear supercarriers that serve as floating airbases and symbols of American might. U.S. carriers project air power globally, operating far from home. China's 3 carriers are still learning the ropes, gradually building experience and capability. Submarines are a crucial factor. The U.S. operates 68 nuclear-powered subs, including 14 ballistic missile boats, giving it unmatched underwater reach and deterrence. China's 70 submarines are mostly diesel-electric, with only 12 nuclear-powered and less advanced, but the fleet is growing and modernizing rapidly. In surface combatants, China is closing the gap with modern destroyers and frigates, but the U.S. still leads in capability, experience, and global reach. China's numerical advantage and land-based anti-ship missiles like the DF-21D threaten U.S. ships in regional conflicts, challenging American freedom of movement. The U.S. dominates globally, projecting power across oceans. China dominates near its shores, especially in the South and East China Seas. The naval balance is shifting, but America's ability to project power worldwide remains unmatched, keeping its allies reassured. The contest at sea is a test of strategy, technology, and reach, with both sides investing heavily in innovation and training. Both navies are preparing for a future where control of the oceans could decide everything, from trade routes to national security. The stakes are highest in the Indo-Pacific, where every maneuver is watched and every decision could tip the balance. Nuclear weapons are the ultimate deterrent. The U.S. has about 5,244 warheads, with 1,770 deployed across a mature nuclear triad: ICBMs, submarines, and bombers. This ensures a credible second strike capability. China's arsenal is smaller, over 500 warheads, but growing rapidly, possibly doubling by 2030. China is building its own triad mobile ICBMs, expanding missile subs, and nuclear-capable bombers. The U.S. triad is more advanced and resilient, but China is closing the gap. The rapid growth of China's nuclear forces is reshaping global strategy. Both nations are modernizing, making the nuclear balance more unpredictable. The risk of miscalculation rises as arsenals expand. Nuclear deterrence remains central to both countries' security. The world is watching this arms race closely. The missile race is heating up, especially with hypersonic weapons. China leads with operational hypersonic missiles like the DF-17, designed to evade defenses and threaten U.S. carriers. The U.S. is racing to catch up, with new hypersonic systems expected soon, but still behind China. China's carrier-killer missiles force U.S. ships to operate farther from its coast, central to its anti-access strategy. The U.S. relies on proven systems like the Tomahawk cruise missile and advanced missile defenses, but hypersonic threats are a challenge. Both sides are investing heavily in missile technology and countermeasures. The U.S. is upgrading defenses like THAAD and Aegis, but China's advances are significant. The missile gap is a growing concern for U.S. planners. In a future conflict, missile superiority could tip the balance. The race for advanced weapons is redefining modern warfare. Whoever leads in this domain will have a critical edge. The competition is fierce and far from over. Technology is the true battlefield of the 21st century. The US leads in C4ISR, command, control, communications, intelligence, and surveillance, thanks to its vast satellite and cyber networks. China is investing massively in AI, quantum computing, and cyber warfare, aiming to leapfrog US advantages. The US is fielding next-gen platforms like the B-21 bomber and Columbia-class subs, and building a networked force for future wars. China's modernization is rapid, replacing old Soviet gear with homegrown tech like the J-20 fighter and DF-17 missile. The race for technological superiority is the most critical front in this rivalry. Innovation, not just numbers, will decide the future balance. Both nations know, whoever leads in tech, leads the battlefield. The outcome will shape global security for decades. Strategic posture is about where and how forces are positioned. The US is a global power, with 750 overseas bases in 80-plus countries, able to respond anywhere. China's focus is regional. Its forces are concentrated near home, especially around Taiwan and the South China Sea. This gives China a local advantage, but limits its global reach. The US benefits from a vast alliance network, NATO, Japan, South Korea, Australia, multiplying its power. China has few formal allies, relying mainly on Russia. The US must manage threats worldwide, stretching its resources. China can focus its growing power on a single region and adversary. In a regional conflict, China could challenge US dominance. Globally, the US still leads, but China is closing the gap fast. The rivalry is a classic contest: global superpower versus rising regional hegemon. The outcome will define the 21st century. What matters most, budget, technology, or people? Let us know in the comments and stay tuned for more analysis.